This Dana Schwartz chick is absolutely nuts. This person is deranged. She's a true psychopath. And Marvel hired her to write She-Hulk because that's the mentality at Marvel right now. So for Disney Plus, when you see She-Hulk, it's going to be written by a man-hating psychopath named Dana Schwartz. Let's check it out. Here we are on Bounding into Comics. Marvel Studios She-Hulk writer Dana Schwartz compares men to Oscar the Grouch as she continues her man-hating Twitter tirades. Marvel Studios She-Hulk writer continues to flood Twitter with her idiotic ideas and opinions that involve hating men. Her latest tweet depicts men in straight relationships as Oscar the Grouch living in his iconic trash can. Schwartz simply wrote, "Every straight relationship." She then retweeted the photo shared by Entertainment Weekly writer Marks whatever and Oscar the Grouch and Nicole Kidman. Now, as of the writing, the tweet has been retweeted 18,000 times and has over 164,000 people that liked it. Now, some of you may think this is a joke, but Schwartz's past tweets regarding her hatred of men provide context that it's more than likely not a joke, and she truly thinks men are like Oscar the Grouch, with the comparison being that they are garbage. Now, again, I agree with this. You know, do I care about this joke in isolation? No, not at all. It's not about that in isolation. It's about a pattern of behavior from this psychopath that she continues to hate everything on men, but you're not allowed to have that same opinion or have those same jokes if it doesn't line up with the political narrative. Never in a million years would Marvel hire a guy that has a history of doing nothing but hating on women on his timeline, saying the worst things in the world about women. They would never do it, just like they would never hire someone who has a pattern of hating on Obama constantly. But if you do it with Trump, that's okay. It's acceptable. My problem is not the joke. My problem is not her having her voice. My problem is the double standard in which exists in this industry. That is what I don't like. So let's get further into it. Dana Schwartz's history of hating on men. Just recently, she attempted to blame men for questioning her credentials that landed her a role as the She-Hulk writer. She claimed it was sexist to even question her about those credentials, while also claiming her employers also have the right to question her. She has specifically taken issue with white men claiming they were gatekeeping of literature and important books. She's even called for banning of books written by white men. And here it is. Obviously, we shouldn't ban all books by white dudes. I think that shows how people are so furiously and desperately attached to the canon that they respond to a slightly hyperbolic point made in a half jest in such vitriol. You're the one that went after South Park, claiming it like indoctrinated young boys or some weird shit like that. Come on, no high schoolers do not need to read Ernest Hemingway. The sun will not fall from the sky if another generation of students don't fake their way through. The sun also rises. What a weird person. Our ideas of what the important books are wasn't built in a vacuum. They were created back in a time when books by women and people of color were inherently thought of as lesser. The gatekeepers were white men who were biased in favor of their own perspective. Schwartz also claimed that we need to kill the Western canon and claims that it is racist and patriarchal. I mean, what? These people are crazy, dude. There it is right there. The literary canon as it exists is, oh my God. That is, again, are we surprised? You know what? Screw it. No novels by white men in high schools for the next 20 years. Talking about the upcoming Top Gun sequel, she whined about how unfair society is in regards to men and women. Okay, deep breaths. Let's go through this slowly because the film is, I guess, as you say, exclusively for men. Sure, men need to be protected from the horror of a woman who is 60 years old. So where does that leave us? Again, all of this nonsense is from someone that Marvel decided should be writing stories for their characters. What a psychopath. Also, white men should be banned from teaching literature until 15 women win the Nobel Peace Prize for literature in a row. And again, if these are jokes, then that's fine. But the problem is the jokes when it's flipped aren't allowed. So why are these jokes allowed? All I'm looking for is consistency within the rules, and there is no consistency within the rules in the industry. But if a man was like on tirades like this and had a proven track record of it, I would be questioning that man too. My favorite thing about Ralph's Break the Internet is that it figured out who the real villain of the internet is. Insecure, needy men who think women belong to them. My God. What a weirdo, man. Women have to flay themselves open and bare all of their trauma and vulnerability in public just so we can beg men to care the slightest bit. Some of the worst men I've ever encountered are nerds who didn't get girls when they were younger, then became successful, and now see them as commodities they're entitled to. Or those women didn't care about those men until they could get something out of them. You know, it actually goes both ways, you weirdo. You know, no gender or race or anybody, no particular group is exclusive in this situation, you know? Like, again, why are those women interested in those men now? Why are those same hot women interested in the same men that they didn't care about in high school? Is because now those men have money, but when they were in high school, they didn't have the social cachet. You know, it goes both ways, you weirdo, but you're never going to acknowledge that because you have a bias and you hate men. You should be hired by Lucasfilm. You would fit perfectly at Lucasfilm. Dana Schwartz, I believe I learned something from every relationship I'm in, usually that I have low self-esteem and bad taste in men. Whew. Well, anyways, I think you get the gist of Schwartz's outright hatred of men. Despite her claiming it's all a joke, it's quite clear a lot of her statements are not jokes despite what she claims. And even if you do believe that it's all just jokes, they appear to be underlying truth to these jokes as she repeatedly uses the same material over and over and over again. So again, I don't really have a problem with the joke. I don't have a problem with any jokes inherently. I mean, yes, I guess there's exceptions to that rule, you know, when, you know, we go back to the James Gunn stuff, but at the end of the day, my bigger issue here is not the joke. It's the fact that the industry has a double standard of what they will and won't allow. The types of jokes that they will allow, the types of narrative, the types of tweets, the types of political support. That is my problem, not specific things. Does Dana Schwartz offend me? No. But do I think that it is bullshit that she can do this crap, but someone else, as long as if they don't have the political ideology or the right opinion, or if they support the wrong candidate, or if they believe in this, then suddenly they face the mob of Hollywood? That's my problem with it. But ultimately, I don't think this woman should be touching any properties whatsoever in the comic industry, but that's just my opinion. We'll ultimately see what type of product they are able to produce. I'm pretty sure it's going to be heavily swayed in the SJW direction, and when it fails, when it gets tons of criticism, they're going to claim it's sexism, and it has nothing to do with their bad storytelling. It has nothing to do with the fact that they don't care about these characters. They only care about the agenda. They're going to claim that they're being criticized because of an ism or an ist, because that's all they ever do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Solo lost money. Raylos are weird, and we will talk to you later.